guys, what's up? Polar here, and this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of thing. So this is actually mainly for my younger brother, who is playing soccer in college. And as you can see in the top right, the squad's name is Tactic Time. And that's because I'm going to try and help him understand the 4-1-4-1 formation, which is what he's using. His position will be Marco Reus, right up here. He plays left mid, but he's also played left back and then left center mid with Gundogan and Alaba. So that's where he should focus. But for the rest of you guys, this will just be an in-depth tutorial on how to use the 4-1-4-1 to the best of its ability. So, first off, through the team. Now, I apologize, it's going to be a fairly long video because it's in-depth, in my head, you know, and you're going to see my face cam throughout the whole video. It's going to be a full game. Alright? So, in net, Manuel Neuer, reason he's a good goalkeeper. Second, center backs. Sergio Ramos, Jerome Boateng. Reason being, they're fast, they're good defenders, and they can clear the ball out. They also have fairly decent passing, 72 and 74, respectively, so they can distribute as well. Right back and left back, Alaba and inform Juanfran, they're there, pace, defending, heading, dribbling, passing. Basically, they're jack-of-all-trades players. They go forward, they go back, they defend, they pass, they overlap the wingers. That's how it works. Now, CDM, this one, ahead of the shield for the back line. Arguably the most important player in this formation. Bayern, who popularized this formation, used, what's his name, Philipp Lahm, for the longest time, and now they're probably going to use this man, Xabi Alonso, and ship Lahm back off to right back. What Alonso does is he acts as a holding midfielder as well as a defensive shield for the back line. He is arguably your best defender, and more often than not, your best passer, rivaling your attacking mid. His job is to hold up play and find passes and distribute and make its way up to the center attacking mid, which we'll get to in a second. Now, the left mid and the right mid, the wings, their job, workhorses, up and down the field. Don't do that. Up and down the field. Attack, defend, attack, defend. Royce doesn't necessarily fit this mold super well, but he fits because of his pace and his ability to track back quickly. Di Maria is better. Better defending, high work rates. But the idea here, the two players that Bayern use are Ribéry on the left, Robin on the right. Very good at tracking back and forth. Now, the two center mids. On the left, you've got a box-to-box midfielder that'll help on defense and help on offense. He's jack of all trades. In Bayern's team, they use Bastian Schweinsteiger. Here, I'm going to use Ike Gundogan. He's just as good. A little bit faster, better at getting back and forth. In the BPL, two popular options for this would be Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. And then even in League One, a good option would be Johan Cabaye. Now, the second center mid is more attack-minded, or more creative, so to speak. And that's why I have Luka Modric. He can pick apart the defense and find passes to either the wingers or the striker. And now, up top, Lewandowski. He's there because he's a clinical finisher, and that's what he's there for. So let's hop into a game and see if I can demonstrate to the fullest ability, or to my fullest ability, how you're supposed to play with this formation. It's meant to be a possession-style formation, so you're going to have the ball most of the time, ideally. And that's just the way it works. Nope. Sorry, lag. Not something I want to deal with right now, unfortunately. But the idea is that you hold the ball up and try and break down the defense. Which, easier said than done. But with this team, I don't think I should have a problem, so to speak. Now, one thing that is very, very, very critical is the spacing of the center triangle. The spacing between the CDMs and the CMs. Oh my god, this guy has awful kit choice. They're both blue. Alright. What are we running up against? A 3-4-1-2. So, this is a very attacking formation, especially because he doesn't have any center backs. Or not center backs, he doesn't have any CDMs. So, Gerrard and Lampard, like I was saying, are very, very good box-to-box. But they're also very, very attack-minded. Schürrle and Lennon don't provide anything coming back either. And Oscar's completely attacking. So I should be able to exploit the back line. Alright, so we're going to set it up on possession. And then when we get the ball in play, we're going to go to defensive. And now, Xabi Alonso is our pivot point. If I could pass a little bit better, that's what you'd see. Alonso is what we want to center play around in our own half. Now, you see right there, center back. That was Boateng. His job, clear the ball out with his head. Now we got Modric, who's going to unlock attack play, if I could do it correctly. Now Juan Fran here, the right back, his job, defend the flank. You know, stop crosses from coming in, and then distribute back out to Alonso. Now pass between the center triangle a little bit, get it up to Di Maria, let him run a little bit. So the idea is just to find space and let the CMs work most of the passing, as well as win the ball back. Now you see Di Maria move to the middle, and Juan Fran moved up with Modric taking Di Maria's spot. So it can also work very fluidly. And then one thing you just saw right there was Ramos deflecting the ball outside, pulling the ball out of the middle, forcing them to try and attack down the wing. Because if you force them out wide, then your compact central triangle, because it's also a triangle, with the two center backs and a CDM, will be able to defend headers and crosses much better. And if I could do what I was trying to do, then this would work a lot better. But his MO is crossing right now. That's what he's doing. He's just spamming crosses into the box, which we should be able to deal with. Between Boateng and Ramos, and especially Xabi Alonso, we should be able to take care of that. There you go. Just pop it right out. Lewandowski holding up play nicely. Find Modric, who's going to find Boateng. He's going to find Royce, and then hit Alaba on the overlap. Back to Royce. So you see how we're just holding the ball for right now, trying to find an opening? Oop, that was a foul, ref. Thank you. And that's what you want to do. You want to hold up play and try and find openings. You don't always need to go forward. Sometimes you go back. And sometimes you just pass between each other for a while, until you find space to attack. That was a good ball. Good through ball. Now he's gonna... Oh, that was bad play by me. Good block. Good block again. Alright, that was poor play on my part. Alright, let's get Royce. See, Royce is in space here. Let him exploit that. He's one of your most dynamic players. The wingers are going to be dynamic. And sometimes you have space like this, it opens up, and then you rip a shot, and it goes off the post. See, so we found Royce, we got Royce in space, he's a dynamic attacking player, and he created a look. And that's what you want to do when you're coming off a counterattack like that. You want to get your players into open space and into a spot where they can create a look. Alright. So let's whip this corner in. Back to Royce. And now on offense, you've got 5 players that you can work with. I wish Modric had kept making that run. Juan Fran? You've got 5 and sometimes what turns into 7 with the fullbacks moving up, if they're doing it correctly. So the 5 are your striker, your 2 CMs, and your 2 wingers. And then, if you have the ball long enough, and your fullbacks are good enough, they will push up with you. See, Juan Fran is up, boss in the middle of the field here, because that's where he needed to be. And then when we get countered, we want our CDM and our center backs to track their attacking players. And just clear the ball out. That's their job. Get the ball out. And then we move forward with our wingers and our center mids, and sometimes our fullbacks. But now we got Lewandowski in space, if he can get there. But that ball from Modric, putting Lewandowski where he needs to be, is the kind of thing you're looking for on a counterattack.
Gerrard with the ball. Excellent position.
You see Xabi Alonso intercept, distribute the ball. Di Maria pulling up to Juanfran on the overlap. We got Xabi again. Xabi swings it all the way around to Royce because he's in space. And switching the play sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Then just right back to Xabi Alonso again. Now we're Juanfran, and he's kind of stuck here. So what do? We look forward. We find Gundogan. That's the center mid's job, is to just find open space and then unlock the defense as such. Didn't make the best play there with Di Maria, but he punts the ball deep, and the center back just controls, gets it out. Back to the center mid triangle, just working it around. Now Juanfran on the overlap to work the wide areas, and it lets the winger cut in a little bit, like this. And then he gets a great shot on net. So when the fullbacks come to the outside, right, you want your wingers to dive in, and it gives you three across the front with the two center mids behind, and then the two fullbacks out wide to distribute play and to put in crosses. We want to keep Royce on this. He's our free kick taker. Swing it in. And, you know, sometimes you get a good shot, sometimes you don't.
It's a powerful one as well. He couldn't complain on that score, but direction-wise, inches away.
Alright. Then Alaba. He can control the play, work the wing.
Marco Royce.
Royce back into Gundogan, who found an overlap from Alaba. And then just work quick passes, quick 1-2s. And then center back controls it, passes it upfield. Alright, I don't know how that wasn't a foul, ref, but I think you need to get your eyes checked. And it doesn't matter if they get a ball into a dangerous area, as long as your center backs can clear it out. Let's find Modric back again. And now play Di Maria into space, because that's where the space is, right? Attacking is all about finding space and being able... Finding space and then being able to capitalize on that space. So Di Maria was able to swing in a beautiful cross there, but neither Modric nor... Alright, ref. Something is up here. He just shoved me right off. Alright, that's halftime. We're 0-0 because we can't finish for our lives. We've hit the post like 4 times. Yeah, we've got 6 shots, 4 on target. All 4 have basically hit the post. We've got 69% possession, most of it in the center of the park with our CMs, our CM triangle there. And then we've got 88% pass accuracy. So what you got to be able to do is just hit your passing marks and then keep the ball. And that way, you can push forward when you need, relieve pressure when you don't need to, you know? It allows you to dictate the pace of the game. Now this is something you won't see in real life. That's someone being poor at attempting a kickoff glitch. But you saw how to deal with it. Big balls like that over the top get dealt with by your center backs and your CDM. They just compress. So at times it compresses to a 5 at the back. The CDM just drops in between the 2 center backs. And that way you've got the 2 center backs here, CDM a little bit right in front, and then the 2 wide fullbacks. Now let's use Royce. Swing this in nice. No, that wasn't... Ooh, okay. That was a good ball. Alright, Lewandowski held the play up and found a good spot. That wasn't the best pass. That's why, when I say your fullbacks have to be able to make a pass, that's the kind of pass they'll be making. If we could finish, jeez. Oh my god. Alright. You see, he puts a long ball in, and it gets dealt with by the center backs. Center backs and the CDM are just there sitting shielding. There it is. There's Modric. Oh my god. That was perfect. counter-attacking play. Find space with the CMs, someone makes a run into space, and then you get a shot on net. It's exactly how you want to be doing it. Alright. Let's have Luka put this in. Gets cleared out. Good clearance. And then Xabi Alonso tracking back. We have these three. The three always at the back. Sergio Ramos, Xabi Alonso, and Jerome Boateng. The three, the two center backs in the CDM. That defensive triangle. Oop, not the best pass from Alaba. And see, now we just set up defensively. We've got 8 guys behind the ball right now. And he doesn't have any passing options here. And we just dispossess and distribute. And then we put Modric into space. And when Modric doesn't have any more, he doesn't have the pace to keep going, he finds his space. He finds another pass. That's what that attacking mid's there for. The attacking mid is there to just find space. The entire central triangle, in general, just find space and use it. Ref, how that wasn't a foul, I will never know. See, now look, he's looking over the top, or I thought he was looking over the top, maybe he's not. Dispossess. And that's okay. Sometimes you deal with bad refs sometimes, but you know. Puts it in, center back clears it out.
No one really attacking it for his team.
And possess.
Xabi Alonso. David Alaba. Gundogan. Xabi Alonso.
And just hold on to the ball for a minute. There was nothing going forward there, so swing to the other side and then maybe back.
Makes the challenge here.
Now he's opened up space in the wing, so use that.
He's controlling the play here. His teammate just borrowed the ball.
That was a good interception from him. Lewandowski wins it back. Control. And now swing to the other side of the field, because that's where the space is.
Cross the field to try and switch the play.
And he's pressing really high up. And the higher he presses, the less his defense is going to be able to do anything about me making runs like this. And then cross gets put in, and Lewandowski can't finish. But that's exactly how you exploit open space. You know, Juan Fran got a one-on-one matchup. We used it, got a cross in. And we won a corner out of it. Not the best corner. And now he's just trying to quick on the counterattack. What a great piece of skill that was by Juan Fran. And you know, sometimes you just, the counterattack isn't there, so you gotta set back up. You know, sometimes you gotta go backwards to go forwards. And there's space in the wing. Alaba, ooh, Royce, I don't know why you didn't put that into Alaba, but that would have been a great ball. Alright, and now you see, he's trying to go through, and that's fine. Just let him push up, let him push right into your defensive triangle. Because that's where you're solid, right? Modric to Alonso. Let the two of them work it out. Work the space. There's Alaba. He's in space. And back to Royce, because that's where the space is again. Sometimes you have to win a one-on-one matchup, because that's what you're looking to create. One-on-ones. If you can win one-on-ones, you're fine. Now, some really good players will be able to win more than one-on-one, one-on-two, one-on-three, because they're just really good. But if you look at the center backs, they're just clearing it out. Not the best pass. The strikers are interesting, because there are two kinds of strikers. They're poachers, and then there are guys like Lewandowski, who are quote-unquote complete forwards. They hold up the ball, and they can poach. And what I mean by hold up the ball is when the ball gets too far ahead of everyone, they can hold up play and wait and allow everyone to catch up, you know, and push up the field. And then a quick 1-2 from Gundogan and Royce. And Royce is one of those players where I tend to try and beat a lot of people. And sometimes in a position like this, your best play back to the goalkeeper, and then clear it out that way. Right up to Xabi Alonso, then to Alaba, right? It's all about passing and working. And I've dominated this game so far. Been a little unlucky with my finishing. Hopefully that can change. And see, now we've got his 2 guys against my 4 guys. And I made a pretty awful attempt at a tackle there. But Juan Fran was there for cover. And actually, the two fullbacks are very, very important because they need to be able to work attack and defense fluidly. They need to know when to attack, when to defend, and where their positioning is key for those 2. Alright, so due to some very good defense by him, very good goalkeeping actually, and poor finishing on my part, we're still tied at 0. But I definitely would say we've had the better of chances. So we've had 10 chances, only 7 of which on target. He's had 4 chances, only 3 on target. 67% possession for us, so we've had the ball for 2/3 of the game, and 87% pass accuracy. So we've been on target with all our passes, or 87% of them. So almost 9 out of 10 passes are going where I want them to, right?
The coaches have had their say. Both teams back on their feet. They were looking rather tired.
So I think now I'm just going to let you guys see what I'm doing and focus on winning the game. So I'm not going to necessarily talk about what's going on. But right there, Juan Fran, acres of space. And then Lewandowski. Not the best cross, but that's where the space was, and we exploited it. See, now we've got 5 defending here. Unfortunately, I didn't have someone pressing, but that's fine, because as long as we can stop him here, like that. Okay, that was a little dicey. That was on me. Not the formation. I just couldn't get... There it is. That's what I needed. Xabi Alonso wins possession back and then starts the break. Now the break wasn't on because we didn't have anyone chasing up. Oh, he made a good little cut back there. Good back heel there from Alonso. And then just finding space. Tons of space here. If he chooses to guard me, he has to leave space open for everyone else. Lewandowski, this should be a goal. There it is. Finally, we worked the space to a point where we had enough for a clear shot and we put it in the back of the net. That's what happens when everything comes together. 1-0. And now he's going to try this kickoff glitch again. And he puts a long ball in, and sometimes the keeper's the one who comes out and get it. Those, back 4 players in the center, and then sometimes the 2 out wide. When long balls are played over the top like that, just clear it back out. Hoof it back to him. And when they're doing things like this, just let them try it. Let them. If they beat you one-on-one, they beat you one-on-one. But that's why you have guys behind you. And he made it through there. And that was actually good play. That was poor defending on my part. He won a couple one-on-one matchups, and then the center backs didn't chase. And now, unfortunately, as I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, it's getting... my play is less focused, which kind of sucks. But let's see if we can pull this one out.
Talk about composure. Just keeps his head. Keeper no chance there.
It's been the way his game has gone today. His passing's been spot on.
And there's Di Maria in, swinging across, and Xabi Alonso. See, sometimes the CDM even pushes far up if the ball's where it needs to be. If he's leaving wide space on the sides, which he will with a 3 at the back formation, so you've got 3 center backs and no fullbacks, the space is going to be right outside the 18 on either side. So you exploit the wings and you put in good crossing balls. And now here on his counter, we just have to defend. And he probably could have scored there because our defense was in a little bit of a shamble. Sometimes that happens when you get hit on the counter. You're just not organized. But 12 shots, 9 on target to his 5 shots, 4 on target. We both put one in. His was more to my error, and mine was more to just exploiting his space. And again, 66% possession and 87% pass accuracy. Didn't change very much. So let's get right back into it. He starts with the ball.
We go into the second period of extra time.
And he's going to try, look at the little mini map and see the guy in blue making the run. And now we've got Royce, someone who can effectively start a break. And Lewandowski making a really good run into space.
You can see, he's hurt a leg muscle.
And then we earn a penalty from it. We got Lewandowski into a deadly space, and he made a play.
Genuine attempt to go for the ball.
Now, I would call that a red card, denying goal-scoring opportunity, but we'll see. Now, penalty ratings, Xabi Alonso's got an 85, Modric is an 84, Alba 84, Lewandowski 75. All right, let's let Xabi Alonso take it, let the captain go. I think we're going to go top left. And bang. We're ahead. So, that, you know, on the counter, you find someone making a run into space, hit him, and good things will happen. You can never be hurt for putting the ball into a dangerous area. You know what I mean? As long as you're confident in defending, putting the ball into a dangerous area will not hurt you. So you win the ball back, push up, use some pace if you have to.
Still with the ball at his feet.
And then the counter wasn't on, so we turn around and keep control. Don't force it if it's not there. Like that. Okay. Oh, wow. That actually worked out really well in our favor. Oh, and he was offside. That was a great passage of play, except he was offside. We found the space, exploited the one-on-one matchup, and found another one-on-one matchup, which Modric happened to win. And that time, because Lewandowski dropped back into the CM role, Modric moved forward. And then center backs just clearing the ball out again. You know, just pushing the ball away from the goal. What a wonderful ball there from Gundogan.
That tackle didn't hold him up. He's away still with the ball.
And then Royce finding Alonso when there wasn't anything on. Oh, just bad play. Tried to win another one-on-one matchup, but didn't come off. Sergio Ramos getting the ball out again. Just pushing it out. Doesn't matter which direction, just push it out. Find our pivot, find our center rock, and he'll make a good play on the ball. And sometimes he moves up if that's the case. Di Maria, wide open space for Juan Fran, so that's where we're going to put it. And sometimes there's no space, so you put it back.
That passing is top class.
Oh, that would have been a great ball because that's where the space was. We just couldn't find it yet. Now shield the ball away to the outside. Quick 1-2. That was a huge 1-2. But there it is. There's the win. You know, 2-1. It's kind of a lot closer than I would have expected it to be. I think a lot of that's down to his great goalkeeping. He had wonderful goalkeeping. And that's it, you know, keeping possession, exploiting space, and there's our man of the match, Xabi Alonso, the center defensive mid, the most important guy on the team. He had a goal. He had 2 out of 2 shots on target, 27 out of 29 passes completed. Just look at, so let's look at his pass numbers. The most attempted passes he had on one person was his left wing, and that was Andre Schürrle, and he completed under half of them. The most on our team was 30 by Juan Fran. The least on our team was 14, discounting the goalkeeper. And everyone's passing percentages is over half, very high. Di Maria was actually perfect with 23 out of 23. Then dribbles completed. A lot of interchange between our players. The two people that aren't dribbling are the center backs. The center backs are not people you want to have on the ball a lot. Their job is to get it, control it, get rid of it. Crosses, he left a lot of wide open space down the right, and tackling was done all over the field. You know, so It's how you play, it's your mentality, and using the formation to what it's best at. The 4-1-4-1 is a very solid defensive in your own half formation, and then you use it to counterattack and exploit using space. So the final match facts were 13 shots, 10 on target for us, 5 shots, 4 on target for him. And his shots did come in deadly areas, but you see how little he had, how few chances. And sometimes if you can eliminate the chances, and if you have a really good goalkeeper, you'll be in the clear. And the more shots you put on target, all from dangerous areas. So Petr Cech had to deal with 10 shots, and he let 2 of them in. We kept the ball, 66% of the possession, all in the middle third. And we had 15% in his final third, which is more than he had in my final third. And then because we had more possession, he had more tackles, obviously. And then we had 88% pass accuracy to his 61. So 88 out of 100 passes we kept. And that's what you need to be able to do. We also had 5 corners, which is due to us creating chances. All right? So I hope that gives you guys a little bit more of an in-depth look at the 4-1-4-1. This is going to be like a 35-minute video, so, stick with it. But this is really, hardcore, in-depth look and trying to explain what's going on as the match progresses. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you really enjoyed this series, I can try and do more formations and give you more in-my-head details of what I'm talking about. The 4-1-4-1 was just the one I was asked to do, so that's what I did now. And I hope you guys have a great day. Leave a like, comment, and if you want to see more, subscribe. Liking really helps. It really does. So I hope you guys can do that for me. So, have a great day, guys. Bye.